Hello everyone, this is Yael from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the weekly reading for Twin Flames for the week of October 7th to the 13th. I know it's been a while, how I hope everyone's been holding up okay, and I've been gone for a couple of months, and in order to get straight to the reading, I did a video, and I'm going to put that up probably after the weekly readings, because I was called away to do something else, mission related also, during the past couple of months, and I talk about that in that other video. So basically that's going to be it's almost like a 3-month summary, and I just remembered that while I was doing that video, I had a deck of cards in front of me that I had already prayed over, and I said that as I was giving the summary and the energy update for the last quarter, okay, the third quarter of the year essentially, that I would open the deck and see what messages come out. But I wasn't able to get to do that, and because the information just kept on flowing, and I just remembered it after the video was over, after I stopped the recording, and that's when I cut the cards, okay, and the card that came up was thought, and basically Spirit was just telling me that it would just break my train of thought, and it was more important to get the messages out. So anyway, that's why there was that deck in front of me that I didn't get to cut or open. So let's get on. So if you want to listen to that third quarter energy update for Twin Flames, for Light Workers, for Starseeds, do watch out for that video. I'm going to post it after the weekly videos. And for those who are new to this channel, or you just stumbled across this channel, thank you very much for dropping by. Please do hit the subscribe button so that you can follow any updates that I may have. Anyway, for those who are new, this side is the side of the Divine Masculine. This side is the side of the Divine Feminine. These are the energies of the Twin Flames for the week of October 7 to 13. This is called the Infinity Spread, okay? Because from the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, it flows. The energy flows like an infinity symbol, each one building upon the energy of the other. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to open all the cards first for the Divine Masculine. Okay, first card we have Breathe. Next card we have Imagine. Then we have Exchanging Gifts. And the last card, No Place Like Home. Okay, now for the Divine Masculine, before, during my last reading around, I think that was the first week of July, it's been such a while, okay, we can see that the Divine Masculine was really heading up towards the end of his sort of beginner's course, his awakening, his enlightenment into his own ascension journey. And now we can see that he's sort of basking in it, and just allowing himself to absorb everything. Here we have Breathe. This is incorporating all the knowledge that has come to him from his intuition, which he is now recognizing. Before, his logic, his skepticism would always override that. Excuse me. But now he's becoming more relaxed, more accepting that this other side that this other aspect of himself that he's just tapped into is actually part of him, and he's getting more comfortable in that, and now he's allowing himself to just breathe, to be. And that's why whether it's in yoga or in your meditation, the way you take breaths is very important, because it regulates the energy flow. It helps you tap into other dimensions and other aspects of yourself. And this is what the Divine Masculine is basically focusing on at this time. Okay? And while he is in that relaxed state, he is allowing himself to envision something more. Okay? This is imagine. So, if before he was shackled by the patriarchal patriarchal paradigm that the Divine Feminine has worked so hard at chipping away, it's not fully deconstructed as of the moment. So there's still work to be done. Because if you look around in society, some have gone overboard with the concept of feminine power. Some have, some institutions, although they claim to recognize equality on, well, it's still on a 3D level. It's more of advocacies and all that. And it still hasn't gone to the soul level, which is what we are aspiring towards. Excuse me. So here, Divine Masculine now really allowing himself to let go in a way. Trying to envision, trying to visualize what else could be in store for him with this newfound aspects of himself that he is currently imbibing. Okay? And this is a very good thing, because when the Divine Masculine uses their imagination, nothing is impossible. There are less limitations, less constraints, and that allows him to really tap into the expansiveness of his soul. Excuse me. And allow himself to actually view his twin flame relationship in a different way. He's no longer constrained by relationships, commitments in 3D, because he knows that his soul is more expansive than those human-made commitments. And now he can understand on an intuitive level the reason why some things he's had to go through, why there was such a limitation on himself before, which was basically really to enable him to appreciate more this freedom in spirit, this freedom in his heart that he's now currently experiencing. So this imagining, okay, that is being done by visualizing by the Divine Masculine, it helps him tap into the expansiveness of his soul, and to help him chip away at those limitations that he has set for himself, that society has set for him, and all that. So this is like a gateway to more freedom, to less constraints for the Divine Masculine. Because look, like I said, because this is an opening, it's like an open door. Now, the Divine Masculine, because he is surrounding and experiencing this unconditional love, which is vastly different from the 3D masculine mindset, I would call it, wherein it was quid pro quo. I give this, I expect something in return. It's a fair trade. It's a deal. That's why it took women so long to break the glass ceiling. But then again, even if they did break it, what did they have to do? Most of the females that are in power, they've had to emulate the males, which really was the only way that they could break the glass ceiling for such a long time. But now, the Divine Masculine, because he's discovering that there are gifts when resonating and vibrating with the energy of unconditional love. Okay, it's no longer weakness, this making himself vulnerable, this reaching out. Before, they were so closed, feeling that it was a weakness if they asked for help, or it would reflect poorly on their capability to provide for themselves, for others, for loved ones. But now he is in the soft energy. You can see there, pink all the way, and then reaching out to the cat represents the divine feminine here. And we're not saying that the divine masculine is actually changing genders. Gender is really a construct of this dimension. Okay, but he is more accepting, surrendering that other aspect of himself which exists, but which he has oppressed and repressed for such a long time. And actually, that was Spirit was telling me, this is the energy we're in. When parents, when they're still parents, they're so strict. Okay, especially on their kids, discipline, they're raising kids and all that. And usually the children, they often come into conflict with parents. But once those children have their own kids, and you see your parent in a different light as a grandparent, either they spoil the kids, they're more soft, because there's no longer the pressure of really needing to do everything right. Okay, there's just I'm just here to love you. That's why, with the exception of some grandparents, majority have there's overabundance of love towards their grandparents, because they resonate with that. The feeling of just loving you for being a part of the family, for that acceptance, for that embracing. And so that is, I just mentioned that because that's the kind of energy that the Divine Masculine is resonating with, and is quite enjoying and seeing that there is something in return for putting down those barriers. Okay, and that's why we get the last card here for the Divine Masculine, which is no place like home. Okay, and finally, you can see this the spiral here, formed by this shell. That's the divine constant, the ratio, the divine ratio. Okay, it's the Fibonacci sequence, which is the embodiment. For me, it is the embodiment of the God expression in this dimension. Okay, so read up on that, the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio, and you can see sunflowers have the same ratio, and everything is beautiful because everything has its place. It is asymmetrical. There's just a certain beauty to it. And now here, that's why the Divine Masculine has come home to himself, if that makes any sense. And you can see that this card is numbered 50, 5, change. And this has this internal change. That's what he has been battling with for the past couple of months. But now he's settling into it. He's actually enjoying this new version of himself that he has worked hard to rediscover. And I say rediscover because it's always been there. It's just been suppressed. Okay? So now there's more enjoyment of family ties, more recognition on on a soul level, in the sense that your worthiness to be within his sphere of influence is not anymore gauged on your place in society, how much you earn, what value will you be to him, just like an investment in a portfolio, how you're doing. It's no longer calculated like that, but he's delving more on relationships and that energy, not relationships in the traditional sense, but that feeling, that that frequency that he gets when he relates with others. Okay, so that's the focus for the divine masculines right now. And the card for them would be the Six of Cups. And look, the Six of Cups often deals with memories. And as I was saying earlier, these are memories that he has been discovering, memories of that aspect of himself that he is rediscovering now. So that's why here we have this card that shows a tree. Although it's sturdy, you can see that its roots below the ground are multicolored, varied, very healthy. Actually, it reminds me that when you transplant, okay, and you want to grow, let's say bougainvilleas, because I do grow them, and from cuttings you want it to sprout again, you have to plant the roots in a radial manner so that it's healthy. Just like this, that it spreads out in all directions, and you can see all the colors of the chakra here. But mainly, look, from the heart chakra down to the solar plexus to the root chakra. So basically, he is incorporating what he is receiving above into his life below, and realizing that there are much deeper aspects to him than meets the eye. So he is in a phase of really enjoying this rediscovering of himself, okay, that is more in tune or more attuned to his soul, okay. It's like a going home, and he's on his way there. He's just checking out the itinerary and discovery and being excited about what else is in store for him. That aspect of him, I mean. Okay? So anyway, let's get on with divine feminines. Oh, did I read the bottom of the deck? I don't recall if I did, but these are important cards too. I'll go through this quick. First card at the bottom of the deck, which is the general energies of this reading, soulmates. See, so this is a kinship, this is recognition, this is unity, consciousness, and being conscious of your soul family. That's why also divine masculine reflecting that in this homesickness remedy, so to speak. Okay, so this is soulmates, and this is building blocks, which means there's a rebuilding going on of relationships on a soul level. Okay, really working on the least common denominator and chucking away the differences, and really focusing on what you have in common that you can work with. And for those that are close to us, whether that be family, friends, work, it's, while other people may think that sharing common interests or goals would be your connection to each other, it goes further than that. Okay, it goes to a soul level, and that is what is being regenerated at this time. Okay, and because you're in the process of building, you can see what still needs to be cleaned up. Okay, because you want, when you're building something, first of all, you want your workspace to be clean, and you clean as you go. And that's basically what's going on here, cleaning as you go. Okay? And this taking away the debris, this prioritizing what's important, and really letting the small stuff go, because it's not important in the long run, you realize. And it's just a perpetuation of sometimes pride, sometimes wanting to maintain control. That all flies out the window. Because here, the next card that we have here is by the book. And that's 11. Now, this only means that we are destined to go through this all together. It's like a family, like these elephants here. Okay, it has been predestined by divine design, okay, that we are all leading each other towards this, and all watching out for each other as we go through this, and walking hand in hand as we rebuild the soul family here on earth, okay. Because we are now multidimensional beings, especially if you've upgraded to your crystalline body, and it's very easily accessed. Okay, so that's a general energy of the reading. And let's go back to the Divine Feminine. Okay, first card we have for her is Thinker. Next we have Message in a Bottle. And next is Deep Knowing. And next is Between Worlds. Now, this is kind of a summary of what I had been going through, and which other Divine Feminines, I'm pretty sure, are also going through. Because look, first card we have is the Thinker. This is a reconciling, okay, what has come thus far, okay, especially in matters of twin flames. You have the number 44 here, okay, and I've been haunted by the number, I say haunted, but actually followed, kind of like the movie It Follows, okay, by the number 144, okay, 144, always a reminder of twin flames. Even if I hadn't been on air, I would get these messages, but it still wasn't time. I had to go with the prompts, okay, until they told me to resume, so to speak. So here, thinking about your twin flame, your other half, you can see here 4 plus 4, 8, the infinity symbol, and here there is some kind of a clairvoyance going on, and really trying to send messages, heartfelt letters from the heart and the soul, to not only your twin flame, but your fellow twin flames, okay, to the twin flame community. It's like we've been in a period wherein we're all thinking about each other, but because, as I explained in my third quarter summation, that we were called to do something else during that period of time, it was necessary for physical movement to really ground the energies and prepare ourselves, our loved ones, and Gaia, the planet, for the next step. So twin flames, thinking about each other. And like I said, even if I wasn't on air, some clients' names would come to my mind, and I'd be wondering how are they doing and all that. And except that I was really so busy trying to catch up in my regular work, because I was called to do something else, that I was just hoping that, they would get the message and reach out. And so if my name popped up in your thoughts sometime during the past few weeks, then that was probably it. Okay, so dealing each other on a very clairvoyant, but sometimes you doubt yourself and say that no, it's just we're not trying to communicate here, just passing thought. But actually, it's not that, and it would be awesome if we could develop this. But it usually works, especially with other twin flames that I communicate with through my thoughts, and but with a specific directive. It's not just oh, how is she? Wonder what happened to her, or what happened to him. But if it's more direct, wherein you're saying, you ask that person a question and somehow they will pop up and give you the answer. Okay? So there, clairvoyance by the divine feminine here, and sending out messages. It's like a mass clairvoyant email. Okay? And then, okay, and they're telling me it also goes in reverse, because now the divine feminine during this period is going to be sent a lot of these messages, okay, which she often has to decode. That's why she has to think. So these would be not only synchronicities, but also the deeper meaning of things. And I talk about this in my in the video that I've yet to put up. Okay, so listen to that, because here, this I've always, before I read this card, I've always believed that spirit will get you the messages that you need to hear at whatever stage you're at. Okay, in order to guide you in your journey, and Spirit is going to give it to you in a medium that wherein you are most likely to receive the messages. All you have to do is remain alert. So, even if you're not going to Sedona, even if you're not visiting any other spiritually or energetically, how do you say it? To places wherein the energies are focused in a vortex, it doesn't matter. Spirit will give you the messages that you need to hear in a way that you're most likely to receive it. Whether that be in the music that you listen to, in the movies that you watch, in a phrase, in a book that you're currently reading. It's going to it's going to be like a nudge, a tickle. But it's up to you to decode it. Okay? And so there, with these messages that are being sent back and forth to twin flames, you can see here that this confirms the deep knowing of the divine feminine about her multidimensionality. And I also spoken about this, that these days dreams are very vivid. Okay? It's like they're in 4K resolution, okay, and they're in 3D. But and you're in that other world. So this is the divine feminine being more conscious of her multidimensional avatar. Okay, because in other dimensions, because you don't have a body. Okay, it's not as dense as this one. It's like an avatar. So we all have multidimensional avatars. It's not something that was, well, kind of like the video games wherein you kind of earn an avatar, something like that, but not totally like that. But if you get to a certain stage in your awakening, in your ascension, this will be more noticeable, more pronounced, and it will become easily accessible to switch between these worlds. The most prominent would be in dreams. And just the other day, I've been having, it's almost every day that I've had vivid dreams. and which I happen to remember when I wake up, because now it's not being jolted into back into 3D. It's smooth transition wherein it's like you're stepping, you know, those air curtains in malls wherein you enter the sliding doors of the mall and there's an air curtain there. It's sort of like that, wherein you go from your dream state, from another dimension, and you go back to the waking state, and you still remember everything because you just passed that portal. Okay, and it's very smooth. That's what I can say after this upgrade that we had in Lionsgate. Very smooth transition, and here Divine Feminine accessing more of the mysteries, the sacred mysteries of the world. Okay, as she goes to different dimension. And my dream the other day, I'll just mention it quick. Okay, so we were swimming. There were several divers. I could see divers underneath the water, and out of the water, this blue whale. I could see it from, I don't know, maybe it was 2 miles down, but I could see it swimming towards the surface. Swimming towards the surface, and then so I moved to give it some space. But as it went up, it hit some swimmers above water. It hit some swimmers there, but I just saw it in its majesty. It was surfaced, and it came from really deep. Of course, I know what my dream meant, but I'm not going to talk about that. But it was portent of good things to come in my spiritual and my waking world, which was a good sign that I'm grateful to have received. Okay, so so access it in between worlds for the Divine Feminine. That's what she's going through right now. And the card for the Divine Feminine, okay, look at this. 3 of Cups. And 3 of Cups, first word that came to mind when I saw this card, communion. Possibly because of the sun. But it's not only communion, it's communion with similar people. No, communion with those who vibrate with the right frequency. Okay, so there's that love, and there's that enjoyment, and there's that self-validation. You can see this is a gradient from yellow to orange, and not really red, but heading towards there. Okay, so this is a pleasant time wherein you commune with like-minded individuals. It's not even like-minded. The same people who have the same vibration, the same frequency. Now, they don't have to be as well versed in their ascension journey as you are. Okay, they don't have to be twin flames, but they have to. The Divine Feminine now seeking out that type of energy in 3D. Why? Again, I explained that in my other video, but long story short, it's because that's why we were told to go out, because you have to sort of infect them with that new downloads, and it is these people that reverberate with that energy. You can see here, so happiness, joy, togetherness, camaraderie, fellowship. It is in those situations that you get to do that. Okay, and since the holidays are coming up, then you're going to have a chance to do that. And so that's how it's like a virus. You have to spread it to others, and you do that by communing with them. Okay, so so Divine Feminine here, spreading not the word, but spreading the vibe. Okay, spreading the vibe. Divine Masculine enjoying that vibe which he has just recognized, and Divine Feminine spreading it. Okay, I'm gonna pick a card in the middle for the both twins. Oops. Jumpy. Okay, look at this. Serendipity. So here, like I said, be open to all messages right now. The right message will come to you at the right time. Okay? But you have to recognize it. Because here with the Serendipity card, there will be no coincidences. You are going to meet those you need to meet, those you need who need that upgrade of energy, or who can propagate that energy for you. It's kind of like paying the vibe forward, like that. And here, Divine Masculine also will be meeting some folks that'll validate that. Remember, because he's doing this as a solo journey, okay? He's still enjoying it. And any outer confirmation of what he knows inside, there's still the shyness factor that I'm getting because it's so not him. But he will be meeting other folks that will help him sort of feel more comfortable in this kind of multidimensional skin. Okay, so there, serendipity. So meaning for this week at least, open your eyes to coincidences, signs, fortuitous events that are for good. Okay, and also this is influenced because Pluto just turned direct. So after retreating into our shells for the past, well, since April, now Pluto has gone direct. And so we're using everything that we've learned now and sort of like spreading it out. That's the long story short. Anyway, that's what I have for you this week. I'm still open for personal readings and healings. Do go to the site to visit. And there, thanks so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye.